Reservoirs are completely full of the state reservoirs here in Southern California. That mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or aids any of us.
You know, though, from reporting here locally that one reservoir that serves the Palisades was not full.
It was not a state system reservoir, which the president-elect was referring to as it relates to the Delta and somehow connecting the Delta smelt to this fire, which is inexcusable because it's inaccurate, also incomprehensible to anyone that understands water policy in the state.
Newsom also spending a lot of time attacking Donald Trump while inviting the president-elect to tour the devastation.
I've been pretty expressive about that in context of someone threatening our first responders in terms of supporting the immediacy of their needs.
That's what you take it as, that President-elect Trump is threatening the first responders here.
Well, I mean, it's what he said. He said, I'm not going to support the firefighting efforts. I'm not going to support the state of California as it relates to its emergency management. He made this pretty clear during the election, unless they do my bidding.
And
vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp, they cut right through.
Hey, welcome back to the channel with your man Wise, and we got to keep talking about it, man. I'm sorry, but we must keep talking about it. We got to keep our foots on their neck. Gavin Newsom out here lying, gaslighting, not taking accountability, pointing the finger at everybody. This dude's ridiculous. He should resign right now. So should Karen Bass. They both should resign. Get up out of there. The leadership in the fire department, they need to go as well. They need a full-scale reboot. It's time, as in NFL terms, it's time to tear it down and rebuild it back up. That's really what this is. We're going to check out the 5. I got a couple other clips to share with you guys as well. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
Not only happy to have you back here at work, but for everyone out in California, my sister, they left for a couple days. They're now back in their home and hopefully can stay there. I'm close to despondent over the tenor of the political discourse concerning something this egregious. I hate that it has turned to politics, that it has been politicized this way. I hate that Governor Newsom had to create a new landing page on his site to put out the real facts about what the budgets have looked like, doubling the size of the air fleet, forest management budget increased 10 times. I understand it got a little wordy about the San Ynez Reservoir, but the truth is that reservoir was offline through February 2025, no matter what. This wasn't an unpreparedness thing. There was a tear in the cover that they had to repair. It's a normal maintenance thing. So yes, would it have been better if it had been filled? Sure, but that's not because of mismanagement. That's maintenance that has to happen.
But the maintenance didn't happen in time. I mean,
but it was always, but it's not behind.
There they go with the excuses. And we already know what's up with Jess. You know what's up with her.
Schedule is the point. This isn't because they neglected it.
It's
there were
because
also
they
a number
didn't make time is of the essence in this contract.
Okay,
if they don't have that reservoir, that involved the Palisades.
I totally understand.
And so it's like saying we're not going to have cops where we know there's going to be a crime.
Well, you don't know that there's going to be a crime. This fire was predicted 5 days out, not months out when it went on.
They've been talking about something like this, a catastrophic fire like this, for at least 2 years, maybe a little longer. These people are full of it, man.
We've been hearing about fires in California for years.
In positions of power, like the Orange County Fire Chief, the LA County Fire Chief, the head of FEMA, even Elon Musk, who went to a briefing and heard from a fire command, who have all said that this wasn't about a lack of preparedness, that this was because it was unprecedented. If you have 100 miles per hour winds, so much so that the choppers can't fly for 27 hours, which was a crucial element of this, that it was too windy to be able to do it, then you can't stand there and blame them like this. I mean, these quotes are crazy, saying, firefighters have never seen these kinds of winds. The fires were, quote, unstoppable. Mother Nature owned us. And then you hear Speaker Johnson, who was just walking through the Capitol and it was being interviewed, talking about aid and disaster relief. And he said that he thinks it should be conditioned on California changing their ways. If Joe Biden, who, by the way, has signed every major disaster declaration right away, given everyone the capacity aid that they are asking for, he even actually wanted to put more money into the FEMA budget, and the Republicans took it down several $billion. If he had said, you know what, Louisiana, I'm not so into your politics. You should do things differently, or Georgia, or any.
Is that not what's going on in North Carolina right now? Is that not what's going on in North Carolina right now? Last time I checked, there are people still living in tents, still in need out there in North Carolina right now. Last time I checked, they said that they bypassed people that had Trump signs in their yards because they felt unsafe. That's what we were told.
The condition might be, hey, you have to allow the Forest Service to do the work and tell the environmentalists to pound sand while we do this. They're not saying you're not going to be allowed to have trans policies unless you, and we're not going to give you the money unless you do. It's not like condition for something that doesn't make sense. It's like if you're asking federal taxpayers to help continue, and all of us want to help. And we not only will we help federally through our taxpayer dollars, but we will help also through our donations. You would have to say, like, can we at least make sure that there's more than one road in and out so that people can get out if there's an emergency?
Yeah, and they were going to try to expand the road, but there was a very precious piece of lettuce that the environmentalists sued and then fined a utility for touching.
Is this about fake smelt gate again, too?
There's nothing fake about the smelt.
Not according
I
to
actually
Gavin.
brought the lawsuit in last week. Maybe you already forgot, Jessica. And are you going to come on TV and say that California was well prepared and couldn't have done anything better? And this fire, no one could have put it out? Are you really going to tell people watching right now in California, the Democrats, the liberals, all the Hollywood stars that are livid at Bass and Newsom, that everything was perfect and they got this thing right? Jessica, this is such a disaster.
Jessica's full of sugar honey iced tea. She's just like every other, legacy media Democrat shill out there, caping and shilling, for these people, Karen Bass and the Gavin Newsoms and other Democrats out there in California, willing to lie to the American people so that her folks can save face instead of telling the truth.
Be recalled, but I am going to come on and read what the head of FEMA had to say, or the LA County Fire Chief.
Okay.
You know better than them?
I know better than to listen to you talk about facts because I have them. And here is the budget, Jessica. California state budget, Department of Forestry Fire Protection. $3.3 billion last year. This year was $2.8. Look at the LA budget. Last year,
is this the $17 million?
Last year, $837 million, then $819. I'm not very good at math, but I know that's a cut.
No.
Let me tell you something else. In the 1700s, Jessica, California averaged millions and millions of lost acreage due to wildfires. Then the Americans came in, brought a little civilization, and by the end of the last century, they only lost 250,000 acres to wildfires per year. And then the environmentalists and the wackos took over. And they're back to losing millions of acres in California. These people have literally taken California back centuries, Jessica, with these stupid policies. And the thing about liberalism is that they say if you give the liberals all the power and all the money, they will create a utopia. They will create heaven on earth. Well, we've given the Democrats all the power in California. And look at it. It looks like hell. They think they can control the Earth's temperature. They can't even put out a fire in their own backyard. Look at these fact checks this guy's doing. Now, I don't care if he goes on a podcast, but look what he's saying. The fire started from a satanic ritual. They had to fact check that. Why is he wasting time doing this? This is craziness, Jessica. You can't defend this guy.
You can't defend it, but they'll go down with the ship trying to defend it. They'll go down with the ship trying to defend the indefensible. They're incompetent. They were ill prepared. And then Gavin Newsom has the nerve to talk about all the misinformation, disinformation that's being pushed. No, y'all messed up. And instead of coming out and saying, hey, we messed up, we were not as prepared as we should have been, we're willing to listen to the federal government, we're willing to listen to the experts. How can we keep something like this from happening again? No, They point the finger at everybody, blame climate change, and a host of other foolishness. Let's check out what the ladies from The View have to say about this.
It was unbelievable. I thought it was fake news. He said that California's woke politics and DEI are the reasons for the fires because Newsom has been tearing down dams because Native Americans, but he called them Indians, wanted some of the river back so they could catch salmon. And
the term Indian is not a derogatory term. These SJWs, people like Sonny, despicable, always looking for a way to cry victim.
Gavin didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians. He knocked them all down. He knocked down 4 of the dams. I'm sorry, this is stolen land, first of all, okay? California is stolen land. Second of all, that's part of what always happens. These dams, there's preservation of the dam. So that was just complete, not only misinformation, but it was racist. And
once again, Sonny not knowing what the heck she's talking about. Stolen land? Really? California is not stolen land. The United States acquired California through the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. I could be pronouncing that last name wrong, but the reason how they actually acquired California, it was, a treaty when the war ended in which Mexico ceded a vast region known as Mexican secession to the United States. The region included present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. In exchange, the U.S. paid Mexico $15 million and agreed to assume $3.25 million in claims by American citizens against Mexico. Doesn't sound like stolen land to me, Sonny.
I think we need to also call stuff like that out.
Well, look, I think what this has shown us is for people who thought that Donald Trump has changed, he has not changed, okay? No. He is the same immature, insensitive, inappropriate oaf that he's always been. What he should be doing right now is putting out tweets saying, I thank the heroic first responders. I thank the countries of Canada and Mexico and all the others who've helped. I thank the surrounding states that have sent help. I have talked to Governor Newsom. I have talked to Mayor Bass. I have told them that my administration in 7 days will be ready to supply everything and anything that California needs. Californians, my thoughts are with you. Those are the things you have to say. If you need help in figuring it out, go look at everything that Joe Biden has said for the last 4 years after a natural disaster.
We don't want a president going a route of a Joe Biden. We're not interested. We're not interested. And there is a situation. He's already said that they'll help. That's already been discussed. How about we call out who needs to be called out, get an idea of how this happened and how we can keep something like this from happening again. Take some daggone accountability, man. Take some accountability. Here is a undercover video from James O'Keefe and one of these guys talking about the fear-mongering of climate change.
So like whenever a new story comes up, they're going to latch onto it. They've already announced inner office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate, climate like global warming, and like that's going to be our next I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
What does that look like?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's just going to be like constantly showing videos of like decline in ice and weather warming up and like the effects it's having on the economy and really diving into that. The head of the network, just
more fear mongering, more shifting the blame off of them and putting it on something else so the American people can be, that puppy chasing his tail, essentially. These people are ridiculous, man. And that's why legacy media is no longer trusted. More and more people are deciding to cut the cord. More and more people are saying, you know what? We don't believe those people over there on those networks because all they do is lie. They always have an agenda. It's not fact-based. As I mentioned with Sunny, she's talking about, it's stolen land and we don't want to hear anything. And the Indians, Native Americans. SJWs is always projecting, looking for a way to become a victim. When she didn't even know the United States paid $15 million to assume California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. But it was stolen land. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. Sunny Hostin, last time I checked, makes $7-8 million. I think she had to take a pay cut. She was due for a raise, but she makes that kind of bread spewing nonsense, lies, and she's often very wrong. Very wrong. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. If you'd like to support the channel financially, consider buying your man a coffee. If you join the membership at Buy Me a Coffee, you get a chance. You'll be a part of the membership Slack group. You'll get a chance to chop it up with me on on a day-to-day basis. I am in the chat, so I am there, and we'll get a chance to chop it up there. So I appreciate everybody that has supported the channel thus far. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.